Howdy people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 33 of The Great Ace Attorney. Last time, we talked to Sherlock Holmes and inside of Soseki's room, and then basically we went upstairs to talk to the Garridebs again, because Holmes said that they had a secret. So basically we talked to them, they wouldn't tell us anything, so we then teamed up with Sherlock once more and then did another dance of deduction, and now we are going to basically get some answers. Luckily, there's a jolly good secondhand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonished. Demolished might be closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly that description. Here we go again. And the carpet, was that destroyed by fire when a candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. I was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over there, Mr. Garrideb? What was that just now? What was that? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you allow me. Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Gosh. Then the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight that must have been. There I was, backed up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books coming tens to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be the correct once again. It can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage. Flames everywhere and the old stick in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think. So exactly the same time as the terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole blighty could have been lying outside of my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes, what is it, Mr. Ryuunosuke? What is it, Ryuunosuke? I'm busy imagining getting some more opium, and wondering what kinds of highs I'm going to experience. Will it be a good trip or a bad trip? Yes, Mr. Naruto, what can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garrideb's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? Oh, my sinuses are acting up. I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that. Now, Mr. Naruto, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories, those relevant to case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry, visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think.
Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now? I must prepare supper for Mr. Garrideb.
Oh yes. I'm so sorry.
Thank you both very much for your time.
Soseki-san will be waiting for us, and I'm going to have to give him an answer. Okay, let's head over to the prison. Where's the prison? Here's the prison. Okay. I did not select that. I selected the prison. Briar Road.
It's time, Mr. Naruto. We must hurry back to the prison.
Yes, I know. Let's take care. Then why give us the choice? Why give us the choice to go to the prison if you're just going to stick us out here? Oh, yes.
What's the matter?
It looks like something's going over there in front of the Garrideb's house.
Oh, look, it's an angry mob.
I knew this, not old man, fall to thy prayers.
Who are you calling an old man, you rum-looking niminy-pimmy?
There will be things in heaven and earth, Horatio, that are dreamt in your philosophy. Why, pray tell, do you look like a muppet?
Who's this Horatio fella, eh? And what are you on about?
Excuse me.
Hey, what the? Who are you now?
I'm sorry, just looked as though there might be some problem here. And my associate dear Mr. Ryuunosuke Naruto is a lawyer, you see.
Eh, a lawyer? What? If I could be of assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine, I'll be on my way for today, but you mark my words. This ain't over yet.
Get thee to another.
Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you?
You look like a muppet to me. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna kill a man in the back alleyway.
I do hope you're not injured.
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you.
What was that all about?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, that are dreamt of in your philosophy.
I'm not Horatio either.
Well, too bad your name is now Horatio.
Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here in the Garrideb's residence?
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. I am the gatekeeper. I keep all the suspicious people out. I told that bumblebee muppet, get away from here. Thou shalt not pass, Horatio.
Mr. Garrideb noted that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor?
Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume, but his name is no longer that, for it is now Horatio. Oh, more worthy of a punishment in my battle of words ne'er could there be.
Sorry, battle did you say?
Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I spare long into the night.
Frankly, when it comes to Shakespearean dramas, my money is on Macbeth. Because, frankly, Hamlet is a wuss, okay? Hamlet, when push comes to shove, Hamlet's just gonna be a coward. He's just gonna go off in the corner, and he's just gonna be like, oh no, should I do it? Boys, Hamlet's gonna be busy crafting soliloquies about whether he should end it all. Hamlet would end himself before Macbeth could even touch him, okay? Macbeth would easily crush Hamlet. I'm sorry. Okay, this is why Fortinbras, he took all of Denmark. This is why Fortinbras took Denmark at the end of Hamlet, because freaking Fortinbras, he could get stuff done. Meanwhile, Hamlet's like, oh no, should I fight against my uncle who killed my father? No, instead I'll stab Polonius, who's standing behind the curtain. Really, yeah, Polonius just gets stabbed. No one gives a damn about Polonius, but just Claudius, go, no, we're not killing Hamlet doesn't kill Claudius because Claudius is fake praying. Oh yeah.
And when did this turn into a Shakespeare rant? Wow, we're looking at Shamsphere. I see.
I don't really understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least.
So fair maiden, so good gentlemen, I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well.
I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room.
It seems he's not aware of what happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. With Soseki-san and that man as lodgers, the Garrideb house is certainly full of eccentrics. Oh please, as if the Garridebs are the pinnacle of normalcy. Anyways, I'll go find a carriage.
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return.
Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. February 6th, yes, 6:31 p.m., local prison. Cell 9. Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! Welcome, student Mr. Naruto Esquire! I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched! And I should know! I got a bad touch from one of the guards here earlier! He groped my buttocks! And I said, that is most rude! Notoriously, nefariously, inappropriately rude! And he just didn't care! He kept groping my ass cheek! And I screamed and I cried! But they just laughed at me! Okay, that just got dark.
We are so sorry you kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume.
Oh no! Nothing else! Relax! If I were a cat, I would play with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots! Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nipponese! Okay now, let's not get carried away. Okay, I'm just gonna... I don't know who's speaking. I don't know who's... Okay, good, Tobes. For a second there, I thought it was actually gonna be Barack Penzeeks. Barack Penzeeks. Oh yes, surprised to see that you three are commingling, always plotting within your native tongue, so that way we cannot understand it. If you are truly a brave people, speak to me in the Queen's English, so that way I may tear you asunder. And then just Barack, he just creeps over. Now, if you excuse me, he pulls out his calibers. I must perform my phrenology tests on this man.
It is through friendships transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least.
Oh, it's you! The miserable, rotten spy! Sherlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here?
I have no intention of doing anything per se, except smoking opium in the corner. You see, I like the corner of this room. It's very good for smoking opium. It lets me taste the colors most properly. I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring.
Gloomful room?
At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. Anyways, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day's been a delight, and not cost me a penny.
Ah! You! How dare you! Sherlock Sholmes! I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits and those accused of lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed into tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is Benjamin! Sorry.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruto?
He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean.
And there's much truth in what Mr. Mustache's words.
What?
Best is wholly appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Cursed trial. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed?
Oh no! Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away. That's all. I didn't mean anything by it.
Oh, I see. That really agitated him.
You don't mean the trial at all? It's cursed somehow.
Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey?
The Reaper? Oh no! What do you mean? Please tell me! Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words!
No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah! Perfect word count, Ryuunosuke!
Oh my goodness! Can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly!
Yesterday, Mr. Naruto successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances.
Mr. McGilden.
What?
Ah, I am impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail.
Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us.
Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself.
Oh no, he couldn't have. Surely.
You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. And then Blaze just 100 years later, he just time travels back. Allow me to end your career, Holmes.
Oh yes, why of course he is.
Of course he is! Then why are you trying to scare me?
It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception.
Oh, that's good.
Sasaki-san looks like he's gonna cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there's both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. And then, a century later, Kristoff gets a surge, he gets a shock, he basically winces, and he's just gripping his head. And then Clavier, bro, what is up? And then Kristoff, I don't know, Clavier. I felt a disturbance, as if our ancestor praised the juris system. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals, and corrupt lawyers for that matter, can use that to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhanded means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail.
But it means the wrong verdict can be passed.
And sadly, it is from time to time, my dear madam. It is simply the reality of the situation. And that's all right. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed.
Oh my!
Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they are all disappear. It is most striking.
Disappear? But how?
By all manner of misfortunes, sir. Perhaps they are trampled on their passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Or perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Or get a fever while walking home, then get attacked by highwaymen, resulting in them getting pushed into the street where they are run over by a carriage. They then get up and try to limp, only to fall into the Thames and drown.
Oh, no, 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 no!
All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruto.
I knew it. I'm dead! Dodo done for! Doomed!
Cursed lodgings.
When you said a cursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garrideb's house. Yes, I was referring to my gamer den!
Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed?
It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain, yet no woman wants to come up to my apartment or even go out with me for that matter. But I'd only been to London a week before I started to know strange feelings in myself.
That didn't take long then.
Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure the people there were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me all the time from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away.
You must have been very lonely having been away from your homeland for such a long time.
I've had to move a number of times most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now.
Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient.
The rent is cheap. I have so little money. It appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Whoops! He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, "If you had something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place!"
Yes, well said.
But it wasn't true. It was all true.
You mean the room is really cursed then?
Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I'd wake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are standing in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm Brenda Killer, thrown into a prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find in his or her heart to believe in me? Really, no one at all?
To believe. Yes, to believe. To believe or not to believe, that is the question. Mr. Sholmes. Ah, me, Mr. Naruto, pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Boria, if you recall. The Boria, ah, that case. The one with the snake. Well, yes. At the time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is why? Why did you believe me? I liked your shoes. They were very nice shoes. I see, yes, you mean? Because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room. Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised at the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. Of course I did. Why do you think I kept slapping those handcuffs back on your wrists? I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only thing I believe in are those I choose to believe in.
What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could betray your trust. Ah, ha, 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 ha. As if I trusted your ass. In that case, I should make an elementary error in my judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It's a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself.
Yes, he is right! He's right! Locum student Mr. Naruto Esquire!
Whether or not I can believe myself.
A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his clients. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. Now, if you excuse me, I must become one with the stars, Ryuunosuke. You were so right, Kazuma.
Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe.
Already?
Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me?
Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there?
Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Welcome, student Mr. Naruto Esquire! As I said, I only experienced the British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something critical. Something critical? What to believe in, the defendant, justice, or the truth? How to believe even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts.
Yes, Mr. Naruto.
And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Welcome, student Mr. Rudo Esquire! I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to trust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume.
It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruto, that your mind was in many ways made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it.
Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. I love how it's the tea spilling into Garrideb's lap. That's basically just the focal point of Ryuunosuke's flashbacks. Mr. Sato.
Yes?
Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court?
Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant.
The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind, but it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me too. So it's time that I learn to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one, he's all alone, so it's my job to help him, to fight in his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. To be continued. Okay, we'll start the next portion, and then we'll end off the episode. And then the next episode, we can actually begin the trial. The 20th of February, 9:23 a.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon?
We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices,
And I am intent to end the episode off. So anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.